Power plant capacity exceeded. Under attack. Target destroyed. Power plant capacity exceeded. Programming limpet room. Programming limpet room. Programming limpet room. Cargo scoop deployed. drone. Programming limpet drone. Programming limpet drone. Collector limpet expired. Programming limpet drone. Collector limpet expired. Programming limpet drone. Collector limpet expired. Collector limpet expired. Programming limpet drone. Programming limpet drone. Collector limpet expired. Programming limpet drone. expired. Programming limpet drone. Select limpet expired. Select limpet expired. Programming limpet drone. Programming limpet drone.
Wicked Dowla, how's it going? Nice name, or is it the Wicked Lala? Sorry about that. I had to take a double take on that one to make sure I was saying it right. Good day, Commander. Thank you for the salute, my friend. I am trying to get, as the title suggests, my engineer stuff done. This isn't to collect materials, this is just to get the acceptance to one of the engineers who needs you to do X amount of mining, and I'm not a miner, so this is my way of kind of just getting some mining out of the way. I wish it was more accurate to tell you how much you've mined already, but it isn't. You have to jump out of the sector and jump back in, so we're going to be doing that for a minute. But I was more than halfway done. It was 300 tons, or 300 amount mined. It's not that bad. It's actually super easy to do mining. I was really surprised about that. You basically just need the refinery, the collector limpets, and some space for the limpets and the material. You can get a prospector if you're going for the high-end stuff and you are specifically doing mining and that's like your thing. You can go that route as well. But, I mean, really, I'm not even filling up that much space with how much I've collected. And, you know, I haven't even been out here that long, but I've collected quite a bit for how little I've done or cared to do. It doesn't tell you how far you've progressed, but when I got here, I was at 305 tons or whatever, I guess. Or maybe that's how many total tons I'm at. I'm not quite sure. But anyway, I'm somewhere in that vicinity, and I have to get to 500, so I'm just going to fly around and mine some crap till it's done. And whatever I can't carry, I just dunk into space and call it a day. I would have looked for a high-end zone for painite or gold or something, except I don't know where to go, and I don't really want to go traveling for it. I'm not really doing it for the money, so I figured why not. Just grab what I can. Yeah, I mean, my suggestion is not that you do what I do, but rather that you do find a space that's got the platinum or whatever, that way you make some money on it. But I already happen to be in a zone where there was just mining availability nearby, and I might be able to turn in some of it for missions, so that's kind of neat as a trade-off. But yeah, most people do it for money, and for the prospect of getting some of the mining materials like osmium and yttrium and stuff like that, where you can actually use that for the engineers. I wouldn't even know where to look, and some of the jumps that I saw were far enough out of my way that I was just like, nah, I don't care enough to do that. I'd rather rob somebody for it. Bit of pirating never hurt anybody. Oh, I think I crushed my collector limpet.
Programming limpet drone.
Maybe. Well, I'm not so sure. Oh no, they I think ran out of time then, because that yeah, I wouldn't have crushed either one of those. System based off the mining resources, and I'm about the trading, so I jump long distances a lot. Ah, fair enough. Well, I mean, if your team is mining stuff, I mean, they still need maybe someone to trade it for them, so that, you know, I don't know. I did a lot of trading and smuggling back in the day. I don't do a hell of a lot of that anymore these days. Are you Alliance, Empire? You mentioned your home system, so I figured you somehow factioned up with somebody. it's not going to yield anything else.
Programming link deployed.
Independent, the Privateers Alliance. We ally for... I have nothing wrong with privateers, aka the universe's nice mercenaries. Code of ethics and morals are what exchange whether you're privateers or mercenaries. I get it. Fair enough. I am by flag only Archon Delane. But I haven't exercised my Archon Delane abilities since Frontier Development have made it so that factions don't feel like they should, and meant that undermining was not worth it. That's what I used to do. I used to smuggle, which they nerfed, and then I pirated, which they nerfed, and then I undermined, which they nerfed. So I feel homeless a lot. I work with a lot of Empire folks, though. Privateers with minimal rules. Starting to sound more like mercenaries again. Nothing personal. Believe me, I've worked for hire as well. Unfortunately, they need miners to go and get me materials. At least they fixed limpets a lot. I really am happy with how the limpets are working well. That was a huge thing that broke the game for the longest time. When limpets would just break and your materials would just break out in space, that was annoying. But I mean, you want to dump me a cargo hold full of, you know, slaves and otherwise, and sure, I'll put in some work. Mining, etc., and some who only PvP. Well, this is a very diverse group then. Wicked Lala. Group does a bit of everything. Well, I don't have much of a group. Well, I do. I can't say that I don't. I do. I had a lot more friends who used to play this game, but like me, they stopped playing when they started to ruin power play, and had a lot of scoops in the game with balance. A lot of my friends had taken off, and right before Engineers had even come out. So I'm playing catch up on the Engineers thing right now, and like many people, have had my interest revitalized with multi-crew. Not even the ability to launch ships. It's nice to have. It's nice to have an option to deliver people as cargo and make it so they're awake, not just smuggled. It does change a lot of the dynamics of how exploration and planetary landings work, which they fixed a lot of. I'm very appreciative of all of that, but I think what's revitalized it for me is that they promised before Christmas we'll have multi-crew. And for a lot of my friends who don't have the time or the capacity to put in the effort like I have to get the big ships like the cutter that I'm flying right now, it makes it very fun to be able to launch ships for them, combat ships, which we all love to fly the small and agile combat ships, and only to the cost of the guy who owns the mothership, basically, is how they're calling it. I think it's revitalized a lot for people, and I love the idea that I get to be the pilot of this grand ship, and I can launch these small ships for my crew to really utilize, and multi-crew functions and all this other stuff. I'm super psyched for it. Even if those functions are limited, even the combat is going to make it worth it, and people will jump on that. I've almost been playing the game since it was released. I have the lifetime purchase of the game, so I have every expansion that will ever be made. You're pushing multi-crew. When you say you're pushing multi-crew, what do you mean? You work for Frontier? Is that what you're saying? Because, I mean, I know a lot of the community has been pushing for multi-crew. Mainly because they don't want to see any players, hemorrhage from the game. And they want to see new players come in because they want to expand the community. I do know that a lot. I mean, the community for Elite Dangerous is very dedicated. And they're very helpful. I mean, I know they use the Fuel Rats a lot as a flagship for that, but no. But the community is extremely involved, and a lot of the people that I work with, not being on Xbox, they still work with a lot of Xbox players, and they still do this, they still do that. There is a large community, and to really feel a part of it, they make you feel at home. There really isn't a whole lot of negatives. You get a few wackadoodle kids that try to harass and stuff, but the community is too big and strong for that. What does worry people about that, I think it enhances the game, but what I do worry against that is where you get these newcomers to the game that get discouraged because, well, a friend of mine who owns the game, he got discouraged because he can't make it out of the starter zone without getting killed by either players or AI, and the game doesn't hold your hand enough. And I don't want that. I don't think anybody does. But it becomes a situation where multi-crew fixes that. I could tell him, don't worry about it anymore. Come fly with me. You'll make a few things. Once we get you on your feet, you'll be able to figure the game out for yourself. In the meantime, roll with me, do the cool stuff that's late game now, and experience it. And I get a decent pilot in a fighter, and I don't have to worry about what his setup is and how to arrange it. He's in a fighter ship that I chose, and he gets to do with the min-max ship that I've built. So. A lot of opportunity there, I think. Ooh, got a little bit more of this rock than I expected. So, Wicked, what do you fly? I mean, I know a lot of us fly multiple ships, but I tend to stick to one or two ships. I own this cutter, obviously. I'm very, very proud of the cutter. I only recently acquired it, so I basically made it my full-on go-to ship. I really don't trade out ships for many reasons. Fly Cobra and to get my Asp Explorer. Cool. How long have you been playing? Have you been playing Elite Dangerous for a particularly long time? Just to send the question back your way. Oh, by the way, you didn't say Cobra 3 or 4. I know you said Asp Explorer, but I don't recall exactly, but I could have sworn the Asp Explorer is still more expensive than the Cobra 4, but I'm not sure. But yeah, I was just been curious to how long you've been playing. I still fly the smaller ships, but my preferences tend to be the Python, which I just couldn't bear to sell. I sold my Anacondas, sold all my Type 9s, all that stuff. But I kept my Python and I kept my Courier, and I love my Courier. I did one to get the cutter, and then I sold it, but I have another one planted somewhere out in space, and I might take it to go get some upgrades at some point when you could transport ships with money. That's been an ideal. If I can don't have to worry about flying the fucking thing around. I did love the Clipper, and as different as the Clipper is from the Cutter, that Clipper is still kind of like a tiny Cutter. So I probably won't get another one of those, even though I did get a skin for it and everything, and I did enjoy flying that a lot. Those, so it's been slow going. How did you come across your current faction, if you don't mind me asking? Just out of curiosity purposes.
Programming limpet group. Collect limpet expired. Programming limpet group. Collect limpet expired. Programming limpet group.
The keelback and the Diamondback Explorer fully A-rated. Well, the keelback is pretty cool. I am kind of impressed with the keelback. It's basically like the functional version of the Type 6, which I like a lot. Oh, you're the co-creator of the faction. Ah, okay. Well, that's cool. And the Diamondback Explorer, I like the Diamondback Explorer for certain things. If you, as a min-maxer, it's not the best ship going, but it is a really nice ship. I almost liked it more than the Diamondback Scout until I found out about the assassin builds, silent running Diamondback Scouts. And I thought that, Cobras would be best for that, because I saw Cobras capable of doing it well. But no, the Diamondback Scout is amazing for that. As an exploration ship, the Diamondback Explorer is still phenomenal. And the Asp Explorer, although great at doing it as well, besides the jump range, the Diamondback Explorer might be more fun to fly. And kind of more suited towards it. So it really depends on you, your budget, and what your goal is, and what you're trying to get, How's this streaming together on the channel? Really? Well, congratulations on elite status. That's phenomenal. So you guys are streamers. Well, I'm assuming that it's Wicked Lala. Then I will definitely go ahead and send you a follow, because I always love following other good streamers and seeing other people's content, as well as working with a lot of other streamers. So yeah, let me go ahead and send you a follow. While it's collecting my... I have any more to drill